This is not a tree farm, this is Wanajas Hilthuis. This is our garden, this is a tribal park. This is our Garden of Eden. That's how sacred this land is. This is a tribal park. These celebrations that we're having are not only about honoring the hard work of Moses and others 35 years ago who endangered his life and really put everything on the line to do what was right for the old growth forests of Meares Island, but also to inspire others across Canada who may be facing a similar dire situation in terms of the health and well-being of their ecosystems and their culture and their identity, to embolden them and encourage them to be self-determining and to take their destiny into their own hands.
Walk, that everything is one, everything is connected. And I'm very grateful that, because we couldn't have done it ourselves. There's no way that we could have done it ourselves. So I'm very grateful and thankful to all of you. You know, there's still hope out there that we can do things that will make this a better place for our future generations. And I know with all of your help, we can move ahead and be proud of what we've done for our future generations of all of us.
For me, it's not just about protecting various areas, but in fighting for tribal parks, we have a chance to educate people about what the significance of attachment to land is all about. This isn't just a local issue for the Nuu-chah-nulth people or the people of Vancouver Island. This is an issue, I believe, for all people on the planet. The trees are pumping millions of gallons of water out of the soil and transpiring it into the air to affect weather and climate. The roots of the trees hold the soil, so when it rains, the soil doesn't run into the spawning grounds for the salmon. The forest is an entity that is performing all of these functions that have no place in our economic system. The miracle of life on Earth is those four elements that Indigenous people call earth, air, fire, and water. Those four elements are cleansed, replenished, delivered to us by the web of living things. The plants created the air and continue to create the air that we breathe. Without plants, there would be no oxygen in the air. It's all the soil organisms that filter water as it percolates through the soil. And life creates the soil on which we grow our food. The web of living things is critical to the provision of the four sacred elements. So those should be the foundation of our lives and our responsibility. And so the fight to protect Meares Island is not just a fight for the Indigenous people of that area, the Nuu-chah-nulth and the other people that benefit, who consider that their home. It's a fight to protect a way that we can learn how things work, and we can acquire a different understanding of our relationship with the rest of nature. We're at that critical point where clearly the dominant monocultured idea of progress and development has become toxic. It's very destructive. And so you're seeing a huge shift within the environmental community to looking for leadership of Indigenous people. And so I say thank you for all of the people. Moses, you showed us that your language is still there. Thank you for hanging on to that. Thank you for all of the Indigenous people for, after all of these years of attempts to culturally genocidal policy of the dominant society, you've hung on to strands of your culture and your being. I believe now that it's Indigenous communities that have to lead us into a different way of seeing the way that we live in the world. But in order to do that, you have to be strong yourselves to show that leadership.
I was really inspired and encouraged at that moment 35 years ago, and I'm really honored to strengthen that path and join all of you in celebrating that tonight. We need to stand up and be who we know we are. And when Moses stood up and declared Meares Island Tribal Park under tla-o-qui-aht, under Nuu-chah-nulth jurisdiction, under Nuu-chah-nulth title, we knew and we stood with them as being on the same path. And I thank you today, Moses, and I thank all of you for coming out tonight and acknowledging them and celebrating that huge moment for all of us. Thank you, Moses. Give him a hand.
Saw the dollar signs and trees. They drained the creeks and digged that coal. They passed around their disease. But our hearts were made so strong now by the spirit of the earth. The seventh generation is here. It's like the old prophecies. And won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? It's an egg on